What's up everyone, let me show you today real quick how I translated my whole website to make it super easy to basically switch between languages. So as you can see, I can switch between languages right there dynamically. And I'm going to show you how I did that in a few minutes, the configuration for that, and also how I translated really fast all my basically all my content for that. So let's get started. So first thing first, I used a package called Next International or Next INTL. Basically, that is made for NextJS routing and everything. As you can see, they have an NPM page and they have pretty good documentation about it. So how would you transfer that between languages is basically very simple. Let's go into code. So first thing first is you gotta create a directory for the i18n modules. First file is gonna be config.ts, so the path is gonna be i18n /config.ts, and then what you're gonna want to do is export a new type to basically define your languages you're gonna use, and the type is gonna reference to the basically the locals that are exported. So in my case, just to get started with internationalization, I use only French and English since my first language is French. And then what I did is I made that the default local is EN. So this is something that I want for my website. Personally, I choose to not do subdomain routing, which is something you can do with the Next International package. So as you can see here, they have a great documentation. You have two choices. You have the routing way, and you also have the without routing way, which is what I want. So the routing way would be slash the language code, or the domain based, which is the language code dot your domain. But for myself, I wanted to use it with an environment variable, or more of like a cookie in the app, so that it can be changed dynamically and I don't have to change my domain URLs. So this is my choice for myself, but if you guys need help, go to next international docs.vercel.app. All the doc is pretty clear in there. So that is for the documentation and everything. Now, how do we implement it? So after this config file, we're gonna have a second file called request.ts into our folder, and what this is gonna be is basically gonna tell our basically our package where to get the translation from, because the translations are not made automatically with Google Translate or something like that. I'm gonna show you how I did really quick right after that. But basically what you have to do is create a message directory on the same level as the i18 directory, and you gotta create basically a JSON file for every language you want to add support for. And you gotta point it into this request.ts file. But in my case, what I did is I did it for English and French, as you can see. So my strategy for that was basically to use only one level deep, just to not get myself mixed up. So basically what you have to do is take all the content that you have right now between tags. So let's say you have an HTML tag with like an H1 with get started between it. You're gonna have to replace it, basically copy it, put it in the JSON file, add an ID to it, and you can reference it then when you're in the pages, right? So let me show you how it works. So we're just gonna go into my home page. So this is my home page. Let's go in the hero section. So the hero section is this section right here. As you can see, we're in French right now, and this is what it looks in English. But as you can see, if we search for get rewarded for reading, we're not gonna find it in the hero section, so it's not there. So what happens is that initially when you want to import for a new language, you're gonna have to basically declare this variable, which can be anything, but it's basically gonna use the hook, which is the use translation hook, which is gonna go fetch from the JSON file depending on the local you set currently. So as you can see, I've declared this constant right here, and when I want to use text, I basically need to initialize the use translation object with the JSON object I want to reference to. So for my case, it was the homepage object, so I use the homepage object right here, and then I can then fetch inside this object, which is the hero tagline that I wanted. So the hero tagline is right here, so the text is coming from here, but initially the text was simply right here like that, and I didn't have to basically replace it. So the real long part of this is really replacing all your text with the T and the brackets with basically the index of your text. But once it's done one time, you simply don't have to do it anymore. You can simply just continue adding it to your JSON file, and as you can see, my file is not that bad, 185 lines, so that's not that bad. And then what you can do when you have your full english.json file ready, you can go to ChatGPT. So what I did is I basically took ChatGPT 01 preview, which is the best model, and I told him from this en.json file, basically translate everything in French. Knowing I use Next International, just translate the text values to French form from English. Basically, I did a mistake right there. But what it did is basically, translate everything. And like I told you guys, my first language is French. It's just that translating this manually would be just too long for me. So I prefer passing it to ChatGPT, and he does it for me. So that's what I did, and I have this beautiful file right here. If you're interested, like I said, to switch from other ways, I suggest really going through the documentation. It's really nice. I'll put it in the docs. But otherwise, that's how you translate your whole Next.js website in a few minutes, really quickly and really efficiently. So if you guys have any problem or have question, feel free to drop them in the comments. Otherwise, if you want more tailored support towards your app, we can talk about how we can help you improve your website, whether it's coding related, hosting related. I take a one-on-one calls, so I'm gonna put the link in the comments so you guys can book it with me if you want. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.